everyone, this is Dr. Nikita Nanwani here, your educator on the platform of Unacademy. And today, here we have one of the toppers of FMGE June 2022, that is Dr. Zaid Jeelani, who's got an awesome score of 215. And let me tell you, that too in his very first attempt. So definitely, he has a story to share and a story to inspire everyone, and some preparation tips that Dr. Zaid is going to share with each one of us. And I'm pretty sure that we have a lot to learn from Dr. Zaid. So welcome, Dr. Zaid, and heartiest congratulations on your great results.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Means a lot coming from you.
My pleasure. So let me also tell the learners here that Dr. Zaid has been a very active learner on the platform of Unacademy. I remember him very vividly, like during my live classes, he used to participate so actively, in the Q&A sessions and asking doubts. And I also remember that in one of the sessions, live classes, I had mentioned that Dr. Zaid, I'm pretty sure that you would score more than 200. And I should be thanking God for that he got 200 plus, that is 215 in his first attempt. So, Dr. Zaid, before we even start discussing your story, if you could tell us that who would you like to contribute your success to?
Oh, there are so many people. Like first of all, to Almighty Allah. He has helped me throughout this journey, you can say. Then my parents, my family, my friends. There are so many friends, like every single one of them, they have always supported me. My seniors, they guided me well. And my educators, all of you people. So
Amazing.
everyone has supported me well.
That's amazing. So, Dr. Zaid, how does it feel like cracking FMG, and that too with a score of 215, and the cherry on the cake being doing that in the first attempt?
It really feels good. I could crack it in my first attempt. I was really looking forward for it. Like from the beginning of my MBBS, as being an FMG, you're always said like you couldn't qualify, you couldn't get a seat in India, and then every time you meet your friends, like someone who's doing MBBS here in India, so it always felt like we needed to prove more, like we did it. So this was one thing. So that makes me happy. Like we all could, especially my friends from my university, all of us could crack it in our first attempt. So this was really good for us.
Great. I am glad to see your spirit, that you took it in the right spirit, and you proved that FMG students are nevertheless. So you mentioned about your university and your friends from the university who got great results. If you could tell us that where you have done your MBBS from.
I did my MBBS from Tehran University of Medical Sciences. It's in Iran, like it's a country in Middle East, as you all know. So I did my MBBS from there, and we had to learn the language. The official language in Iran was Persian. So we did our MBBS in Persian, you can say, yes. Our exams, our patient interaction, our clinical rotation, everything was in Persian.
So wasn't that difficult?
Yeah, it was really challenging, but we had to do it. We didn't have any other option. So we just kept trying, and eventually we did.
Amazing. So you are a real epitome of try and try till you succeed.
And the level of education the doctors they provided us was really good. So we always consulted foreign authors. Like for medicine, you can say we had to remember those tables, the approaches to, for example, abdominal pain. So these things we were always looking for those things. So those things actually helped us a lot in this exam. And they've always focused on clinical cases. So eventually these things, we could recall these things in our exams.
All right. So basically, you would definitely recommend that if someone wants to pursue MBBS from abroad, then Tehran University is one of those to be in the top list.
The result is almost 90%. This FMG, so it's really good.
Nice, that's great. So coming to your FMGE preparation journey, if you could tell us that when did you actually start preparing for FMG?
So actually, we graduated in, you can say, December, but we were waiting for a degree, so it took time. So in that time, we were just like not you can't say like we were preparing so hard for it. During that time, I just opened FMG solution book, so I was solving those questions. So that helped me to understand the pattern of this exam. And with time, when I came to know about your videos, like especially NF100, that series, so it gave me an idea, an overview, how to prepare my journey. So I can say those last 2 months, they were the game changer, you can say.
Right. So since you mentioned about NF100, let me tell the learners here what is NF100. So NF100 is basically NEET PG and FMG top 100 topics, the list of episodes that we particularly I have taken on the platform of Unacademy and YouTube, and they are free to watch. So we would definitely recommend each one of you should make the best of it. All the links are available in the Telegram group as well. So please check that out. It's gonna definitely help you in your preparation journey. Right. So, Dr. Zaid, could you also tell us that how was your experience with Unacademy? And did you also join any offline coaching along with Unacademy, or Unacademy was your sole source of preparation?
No, to be honest, for last 2 months, it was my sole source of preparation. I never joined any offline courses or any other apps like you have. So I just focused on those revision classes you had for last minute FMG, last minute NEET PG, those classes. So I used them, and when I didn't have much time, so I used to watch them on 2x or 1.5x. So educators like you, Dr. Preeti ma'am, Dr. Neha, Deepak sir from surgery, he had a course, I guess, for 10 days for surgery. That was a great course, I can say. Like, it really helped me to solve like almost 90% questions from surgery, and being a major, so that really boosted up my score.
That's great. So yes, anything you wanted to say?
Also, the question bank, I was regularly solving the POIQs from the question bank of Unacademy, the NEET PG POIQs, FMG POIQs. So they also helped me.
Okay, so how much do you think is it important to solve the PYQs, and how many years PYQs should a FMG aspirant solve? And is it important to solve the NEET PG PYQs also?
Yeah, definitely. Like both FMG and NEET PG PYQs, both of them are must for this exam. So I would say like past 3-year papers, they need to be like solved. Especially the concept behind the questions, like those things, those tables, those things matter a lot.
All right. And so if I may ask you that in the FMG June 2022, how many topics, though not the questions are exactly repeated, but how many topics do you think were repeat, like the ones that have been asked in the previous years?
Like I can say 70-80%, to be honest.
That's a great number of topics. And thank you for validating this point again, that PYQs, not just PYQs, but the PYTs, that is the previous year topics, are very, very important to prepare for any exam, be it FMG, NEET PG, or INI-CET.
Yes, ma'am.
And any struggles, any challenges you faced while you were preparing for this exam?
Yes, my biggest challenge was PSM, to be honest, because I never had read it that way, the way they teach in India. So that was my biggest challenge. But as I said, the educators, they really helped me a lot. Neha ma'am was very nice. So like every day I used to read PSM for 2 hours, I would say. So this helped me in pediatrics, biochemistry, everything, because most of the questions are integrated now. So my weak subject was PSM, and my strongest was medicine.
Okay, that's great. And if I would ask you that, do you think that an aspirant can leave any subject like for the exam? Because we say like there are 19 subjects, it's difficult to prepare all of them. What is your take on that?
I would say like minimum at least an aspirant should like go for 15 or 16 subjects. Like he should read it well. And for small subjects like anesthesia or dermatology, you can go for PYQs, those things. But at least you should see something.
Okay. And out of all the sessions that we had, particularly like the NF100 or the last minute revision, the binge revisions, how many questions do you think did it help you in solving?
so many, like, because everything was integrated. Your radiology sessions, it was integrated with surgery. So more than, I don't know the exact number, 70-80%, I would say.
Oh, that's a good number, right? And if I may ask you, this time the FMG results have not been very great in the sense that it's been just 10% pass percentage. What do you think is the reason behind the FMG results, not being very good? Though it's like 150 out of 300 is what is the cutoff, but we still see a lot of FMG students struggling with that.
I think what I believe is, like, you need to have a focused 2-month course. Like, for 2 months, you need to study for 10 hours minimum every single day. That will help you to crack this exam. Like, that's 100% guarantee. If you are focused for 2 months, like those 2 months, you don't have to do anything else. Just study. Maybe people are not following that. I'm not sure, but I think that can be the reason. Like, some people, they must be procrastinating. They must be thinking, like, if I study 10 day one day, next day I can study for 5 hours. Sorry, I meant if someone thinks he studied 10 hours a day, next day he can study 5 hours. No, it's not like that. You need to maintain that rhythm, and you need to move on with that. And with time, you will see your results.
But I'm sure that while you were preparing, you must have also had days where you felt like, oh, I don't feel like study. Like,
Yeah.
So how did you overcome that?
I would just think about my parents, my family, my friends. They all wanted me to have good results. So this was my, you can say, like, inspiration to study.
All right. And if I may ask you, what is that unique feature of the platform of Unacademy, that you were like, oh, wow, this is like such a unique feature on the platform. What is that one thing?
Live classes, like, you can interact with your educators, and educators are really supporting. Like, every single query you have, they will always answer it well. So I think that's the best thing.
Absolutely. I absolutely vouch for that.
Because in platforms, it's always the recorded sessions, and it's not possible like you will understand every single concept. So I think that is a big point for Unacademy.
Okay. And one more thing that I can add to, if I may, is also the live poll feature, right? Like, you solve the MCQs with the leaderboard, and you actually practice with the educator the MCQs.
Like your KBMD series, it gives you an adrenaline rush. Like, you need to solve this question. So I was also following that.
Achha, that's great. So again, let me tell the learners what is KBMD is basically Kaun Banega MD, a fun way of saying that it's a live quiz with a leaderboard. And as Dr. Zaid mentioned, it definitely helps you, in the time management and solving the questions within that time frame. All right. So Dr. Zaid, anything else that you would like to tell your junior fellow aspirants, who are preparing for FMG?
I would say just make your basics strong, because that's the most important thing that matters. If you have good basics, for especially in the clinical subjects, medicine, gynae ops, surgery, if you are good in those subjects, then it will definitely help you a lot, because, like, they cover almost you can say around 200 marks, I would say.
All right.
Like, person reads surgery very well, he will definitely get a good score, because so many topics get covered. Also radiology.
Right.
One can say radiology has 10 marks only, or some people say it's just 10 to 15 marks. But it's not like that, because when you read radiology, you deal with every single disease. For example, you read about schwannoma, so you also read about those high yield points along with the clinical findings, plus the imaging, all those stuff. So it includes everything. So those things we should not forget.
All right. So those were some great tips and preparation strategy coming from Dr. Zaid. And like, coming to some tips in the examination hall, did you face the problem of like time management? Because we are under that pressure in the examination hall.
To be honest, no. The time was enough. to be honest. I didn't have any problem with the time. It's just those things, like to recall those points which you always forget. So that's the biggest challenge, I would say. The time, I won't say it matters a lot. So I think
Okay. Right. And we heard a lot of students saying that part A was more difficult than part B.
definitely.
Does that affect, because you have a break time, right? So does that affect your preparation, the part B?
Actually, it does. Yeah, you can say that. Even my part one didn't go that well. I was also a little disappointed with that. I thought it will give me a boost in my part two, but still.
Hi, Zaid. I think we lost your voice and video. Yes, so you were saying that the part A performance affects the part B. So what would
Yes.
be your tip to the students who would be preparing for the upcoming exam?
At that particular moment of time, you just have to be strong enough. You have to think like you worked really hard for this. So you just need to think all those things, like about your family, your friends, everything. Maybe these things can support you emotionally. It worked for me, I would say. So I think it can work for everyone. Those things. And thankfully, the part two, it was really good. So that's what boosted my score.
All right, that's great. So thank you, Dr. Zaid, for sparing your time and giving us your valuable insights into how did you prepare for FMG and how the fellow junior aspirants can also prepare for this exam. So heartiest congratulations once again and all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much,
Looking
ma'am.
forward to have you again after the NEET PG exam for the next interview after NEET PG.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Means a lot.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
Zaid.
so much, ma'am.